Hey guys, Ryan here from Rode, and this week we were contacted by Silky and Bush from Radio Hub. Now, they're currently setting up a professional podcast studio, and they asked us to come down and give them a little bit of a hand with the setup. So let's go inside, meet the guys, and see how we can help them out to set up a professional podcasting studio.
Yeah, he said he'll help. I mean, we're going to need some help. Yeah, so just do it.
Knock knock, g'day guys.
Hey Ryan, how are you, mate?
How are you?
Good, mate, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Bush.
Bush.
Silky, mate.
Silky, nice to meet you guys. So this is the place you want to turn into a professional podcasting studio so you can record multiple sources.
How keen as to pick your brain, mate. We really want to know what we've got to do.
Cool, well first things first, let's just check out the gear that you're using right now.
Come over and have a look, mate. We've got the Behringer mixer, plug the Apple into the mixer for our music. The H4n, we record everything through that and then edit it on Audacity.
How many feeds are you running into this whole system? Like how many speakers at one time, how many Skype calls?
As it stands here, we've got 3 mics outputs there. Moving forward, ideally we'd need 4.
4 would be good. We currently use our iPhone just to get callers and communicate. We haven't got the Skype set up. We'd love to get a couple of Skype feeds.
Okay.
And obviously the phone doesn't work either.
So you want to be able to take some calls like VoIP or something like that?
Exactly.
Okay, beautiful. So I think first things first, what we'll need to do, get this place looking like a professional studio, exactly how you want it when it's finished, because what we're going to do is actually put up some acoustic treatment. So at about the head height where the microphones are going to be sitting, we're going to put some little scatter panels just to absorb a little bit of that energy. Now, do you want to do any video stuff in here? A lot of podcasts these days.
Ideally, yeah.
Definitely. We're talking about doing a bit of videos, some skits there and things like that we did for the Olympics. And then other podcasts or other shows might want to film, like your man Adam Carolla. We're big fans of the Carolla.
What I think then in that case, maybe we do a green screen wall there with proper chroma key paint. What that means is that rather than having printed out images or something when you're doing your skits, you can actually just dial up whatever you want behind. We'll put in a big heavy drape and that'll save us from having to do any acoustic treatment on that wall. And then perhaps even just for like a bit of a logo, what about a big screen? You can dial in your Skype guests, actually see it.
And they'll be able to see the studio.
And we've got Waratah Radio, Muscle Car Radio on Radio Hub, so it'd be great for them to have that sort of feel professional.
Perfect.
Got a pretty big show today, Bush.
Big guests, yeah. We've got musical has-been Dan Rule from the Annandale Hotel.
Former Annandale Hotel proprietor and former Australian kangaroo and New South Welshman, now star of the Matty John Show, Brian Fletcher.
I'll stick around for that, get a bit of an idea of how you're working right now, and then we'll figure out how we can get 2 Skype feeds coming in. We'll update the mixer, something with auxiliaries so that we can run your Skype feeds without them feeding back. We'll get your phone system sorted, we'll get your recording system sorted, and of course we'll get you some good Rode mics, perfect for the room. Let's catch it back up after we've got this place painted and sorted out.
I can't wait for the drapes.
Beautiful.
I'm excited. I'll be stoked when this is done.
That's green chromatic paint. It's going to fill this whole back wall here. So not only are we trying to do podcasts, but we want to do some visual stuff as well into the future.
All right, Silky.
Wow.
The day has arrived. First of all, this is going to be the heart of your studio. This is a Mackie Pro FX 16. I've chosen that because it's got compression on the channels that we can set up, and that'll basically mean that you can get fatter sound out of your vocals. You've got a couple of real simple interfaces. These are little Roland interfaces just to get your Skype feeds out of the iMacs that you're running. We've got, of course, the wonderful PSA1 Studio Arm so that you can move around the studio. We've got the Rode Procasters as well. Now the reason I've chosen the Procaster for this room is because we've got pretty nice sounding room, but there's always going to be a little bit of extra stuff going on. You're going to have guests in here, you're going to have a bit of background noise. These are dynamic microphones, meaning that they're less sensitive to external interference. So when you're right up on the mic talking, you're going to get a big rich sound, but it's not going to be affected by anyone else walking around the studio. We've got the PSM1 shock mounts. That'll basically mean that you can bump the mic stand and move it around without hearing it in the microphone. And then we have our acoustic kits. Now I've got 2
Love the colour
of these. Yeah, exactly. How perfect is it? All right, so I guess we better unbox all of this stuff, have a look at what it does. I'll go through it all with you, and then we'll get it all hooked up, set up the room, and we're almost ready to go, I think.
Let's do it, mate. Can't wait.
You've got your compression channels, and what it means is that you can get a really fat sound, and when someone laughs or yells or whatever, it'll never spike too high. But you want to reduce the difference between the low and the high sounds. It's kind of squashing the whole lot down. The PSA1 Studio Arm, that's the main arm that you're going to be using to mount the mics. Now it comes with a desk clamp, but it also comes with a permanent mount what I'd recommend always in a professional setup, if it's a desk that you're always going to be using for it, mounts it permanently. So I think I've got a pretty good spot right there, just to figure out the distance that we're going to need for each section of the podcast, like for each guest. What we'll do is we'll just mark them out with tape, get a 25mm bit, drill the hole, and then that way we've got a permanent mount. And it's got like a little nylon insert just so that it doesn't make any noise or squeak or anything or wear out over time. You don't want a phone signal coming in and then going back out and them hearing themselves, whoever's calling in. So we've done what you call a mix minus. Now, the reason I chose this desk is because it has the ability to do 3 auxiliaries. You got auxiliary 1, auxiliary 2, and then effects. Now, the good thing about this desk is that it has an effects bypass, meaning that I'm turning off all the effects and using it just as another auxiliary. Okay. The reason for that is because I need to make 3 mix minuses, standing for, you know, a mix minus something, which is the actual phone or whatever, So you've got the Roland Duo-capture picking up your Skype feed. They're speaking, it comes into the desk. If it went back out into it, it'd be really confusing because they'd hear themselves. It's really hard, you know, like when you're talking on the phone and your mate's using their car kit or something, you can hear your voice back. It really distracts you. So the auxiliary 1 is running into the Skype feed 1. So what we're going to want to do is remove from this channel here, which is going to the Skype feed back in, we're going to remove auxiliary 1. So that what that does then is make sure that it's not hearing itself.
Yeah, gotcha.
Right?
Yep.
We do the same again for the phone. So the phone is currently on the effects send, which is just being used as auxiliary 3. Everything has level going into it except for itself. So that's your mix minus. Yep. And basically from there, you've got your headphone out. We'll run that into a little headphone amp so that everyone can hear each other. And that's it. That's your audio setup.
Mate, it's amazing. Unbelievable.
What do we got here, mate, in these acoustic panels?
We're playing around with an Auralex D36 kit. The idea with this is I just want to get a bit of absorption along the walls where you're going to get reflection problems from the mics. Right in the middle of the wall, we're going to just get a bit of absorption just to kind of break up the sound of the room a little bit. So what I'm thinking is just a solid panel of acoustic treatment along the middle, and then we can put in some kind of nice patterns, like little scatter patterns around the walls, just to stop any of those big reflections from kind of bouncing around the room. It's just to break it up.
Does it matter what sort of pattern you've got it in? Going to be symmetrical, or can you just go a bit random?
Look, because we're using it more for absorption than for diffusion, we're not kind of diffusing the sound. What I want to roll with is just like a big solid block. So I think it's all about aesthetics from here. So the panels already have irregular angles on them, and that's just basically if there is any really super high frequencies that, you know, for any reason aren't getting caught by the panel, they're going to kind of scatter off in other directions. So we're just playing around with a bit of a pattern here, just a nice, you know, solid pattern that just looks good on that back wall, because aesthetics are important as well as a function. So we're going to try to nail both here.
Let's pimp this bad boy.
So I'm using a level to put these up only because we're doing such a long line. Like, this is a pretty uniform pattern that we're going for. It's not much of a scattered pattern. And being foam, it's got a tendency to get all wobbly over time. So I'm using a level on each panel, and that way, even if like this one, it's a little bit out of shape, it'll probably expand because it's been in the box. So I'm just going to level each one on the top, and then it should be perfect the whole way along.
Big day.
I'm excited. This is going to be
big day in Radio Hub land.
This is a big day in Radio Hub land.
Let's go and have a look at this, Casey.
How good's it going to look? Come on, miss.
Let's go.
You hop in.
Ready? Oh wow, look at this. Can we come in?
Hey, hey. All right, guys, I've just finished putting the finishing touches on the room. Got everything plugged in, tidied up. What do you reckon?
How good's it look?
Oh my God.
Improved Radio Hub Studios, hey?
What do you think? Cool. It is cool. Mate, I'm speechless.
That is unbelievable.
So we got the acoustic treatment up. We got our Rode PSA1s mounted in the desk properly. We've got the Procasters mounted up on the PSA1s. We've got PSM1 shock mounts. We've got a Mackie Pro FX 16 mixer running into a backup recorder, also running straight into your Mac. We've got your phone hooked up so you can make phone calls. We've got your Skype hooked up so you can make Skype calls, multiple feeds at the same time. Mate, I think we've got a professional studio running.
Absolutely amazing.
Just come in here for a second, just come in for a second.
There we go.
Thanks, mate. Thanks very much.
Let's just pop over and I'll just give you a quick run through of what we've got plugged in where. On the phone here, we've got a VoIP phone coming in, And I've got a little device here called a JK Audio THAT2 telephone headset audio tap. And what that's doing is basically bringing you an audio feed into the desk and then back out to the phone. So if you want to make a call, you can just pick it up, dial the number, hit your headset button, and
Speak straight through the mic.
in.
Yeah.
Exactly right. So that when you've got your headphones on, you can hear the caller, and you can actually have a chat. Everyone in the room can talk to them. Now, what we've done on the desk is we've actually taken that mix out for the phone, so they're not going to hear themselves back, and that's an important thing whenever you're running a feed in that you're going to actually send back out of the desk. You don't want to get feedback.
So on our Roosters radio show, we do a lot of interviews with the footballers over the phone, so sometimes we've got to pass it around. We've been plugging the jack into the iPhone gone, so we can all and just...
It'll just come through and we'll all hear it. Yeah.
Everyone will hear it, and it'll sound like you're all on a conference call.
And it's more or less like we're all in the same room, right?
Yeah.
The feedback we've had before, I can't wait to do our first show on this, is sounds a bit echoey.
When they're trying to talk to you.
Yeah. And sometimes it's hard for them to hear, so...
Totally. Well, this is going to be fixing it up. Your sound will be much better than even their sound coming back. So we've got a backup audio recording coming into the Zoom recorder here. Now that's running out balanced into the balanced ins on the Zoom recorder. You've also got USB on this desk, and what that's doing is sending your main mix straight into Audacity, which you've already got a lot of experience with. Basically then you can record straight to this. You've got a backup there. And if you want to do a live broadcast, you can actually live broadcast through the Mac with Nicecast, send it out online straight to your website. Guide feeds coming out of this through a little Roland Duo-capture 2. Separate interface is important because you're going to be able to play music out of this as well from the standard headphone output. And then we've got a separate interface so that you can run Skype out and back in the same way as we're running the phone. So you can dial up a few Skype calls all at once. You could have
I just conference them in.
on the phone. There you go. You've got your headphone amp right here. We've got PSA1s mounted in the desk, the podcast studio arms. We've got the Rode Procaster, which is a fantastic sounding dynamic mic. The reason I chose that is because it's not the most soundproofed room. It's a good sounding room, but you're gonna have people occasionally walking past speaking loudly. So having a mic that's a dynamic mic, it's a little less sensitive than a condenser, and that means that it's not gonna actually pick up the sounds from outside the room. It's just gonna pick up what's right in front of it.
So you're gonna talk right over the top of it.
Talk right up nice and close. Let's just roll this, and then for those who are watching this video, they can actually hear what it sounds like when you're up nice and close. And as soon as you start moving away from the mic, pop a pair of headphones on, you'll be able to hear it yourself actually there. And now, important things to remember.
Oh wow, that's a real full deep sound. Yeah, big sound.
Yep. So now that's what you can expect out of your podcast from now on.
Yeah, that's great. Listen to this, Casey. Hello.
What about the depth? I feel like going, my darling,
Sounds good.
Before I forget, guys, and before I go, I've got a little gift for you. Welcome to the club. Your very own Rode varsity jackets.
I feel like I've had a happy day. Actually, Bush, this reminds me, we've got something for Ryan.
Yeah, I'll get it. I mean, it's not much of it. It's a token of our appreciation, but you're part of the Radio Hub team, mate. We're part of the Rode team.
Look at that with the Rode on the collar and everything.
Mate, thank you so much.
Thanks,
again.
mate.
That's great.
Yeah, mate,
It's been
all the team, mate. All the guys that have helped us, Willow and Clinton and Ming, and everyone who's been a part of it, mate. We're
so good.
eternally grateful, mate. Let's hope that Radio Hub kicks off the back of all this good work that you've done for us.
Mate, without a doubt, it's a good studio. You guys have got a great show. Can't wait to hear it.
We've got the green wall as well.
Oh yes, before we forget, let's have a quick look. Now we've got a chroma key wall set up behind this curtain. Now the curtain's here to deaden a bit of the sound as well. That's just
Right, so shut that when we're doing the show.
always shut the curtain when you're actually recording the show, unless you want to run some live video stuff. Now we've got your camera set up here, just ready to go. I just thought I'd mount it up on the tripod, but that's your chroma key wall. That means that whenever you're doing any of your skits, any of your live comedy stuff, you can film it. You can actually film the whole show, and then you can broadcast it live as a webcast at the same time. And you can actually do anything you want, chuck any backgrounds on, and do some pretty creative stuff in the studio. All right, guys, well, I think that's about it.
Mate,
I'm out of here.
thanks very much. Thanks, Rode.
High five, Casey.
Thank you.
And Bush.
Thank you
mate.
so much.
mate.
I love it.